Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2008 issued limited edition of 30 pieces in rose gold and titanium from Jaeger-LeCoultre. This is the Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph Gassan limited edition. Gassan is a dealer of watches and jewelry out of the Netherlands, Gassan Diamonds. They've been around for a very long time. And in 2008, they commissioned a limited run of 30 pieces of this model from Jaeger-LeCoultre that was launched at the 2008 Millionaire Fair. Yes, I know. But what's interesting about this watch is that it may look as though the dial is related to the 2010 Texalium variant. This is actually a combination of engine turning on metal with a ruthenium coat, so it's a very different aesthetic. And this micro edition, one of several made on this model as a basis, one of the most attractive I've seen. So 30 pieces. This one, as you can see, individually numbered. It is number 3, which is a nice number to have. It's a big watch. I owned an identically sized Master Compressor Extreme World Alarm, 46.3 millimeters in diameter. The inner sprung case is titanium. The outer case is rose gold. It's 15.7 millimeters thick. It's 55 millimeters lug-to-lug with a 22 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference. And I wore mine and I liked it. Was it big? Yeah, but everyone sort of needs a sports watch that they can just take to the beach or to the pool and not really worry about. It's water resistant, it's shock resistant, and it is incredibly tough in that regard. Yeah, it's probably a little bit too large for me, but not by a huge margin. I'd say if you want safe proportions, go with the 17 centimeter circumference wrist and up. But again, I had a titanium version of basically this with a alarm, and I loved wearing that watch. Taking a look in profile, no, it's probably not going to fit under a dress cuff. The strap is very substantial. You can see large rectangular symmetrical scale alligator leather. Gloss black. We have some bolstering or stuffing to keep it meaty, to match a watch that is meaty in aesthetic. Monotone stitch, we have a sheer cut edge lacquered for refinement, calf skin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging, Jaeger-LeCoultre factory strap. You can also see that to help improve the fit of this watch, the lugs are drilled very close to the case to move the pivot centers inboard, and so a curved spring bar is used in the strap to ensure that it doesn't have any impediment to its motion against the case flank. We've got a buckle, which is fascinating, being a DLC blackened JLC buckle. An unusual aesthetic, sure, for a watch that's titanium as well as rose gold, but hey, it's an unusual look to begin with, and that buckle makes it more so. You can see we've got these little polished bevels that expand as we move towards the end of the lug. Most of this is going to be in satin finish, but there are some polished highlights like the bezel, the crown that adjusts the world time complication. And then on the opposite side, the compressor crowns. We also have a little bit of polish to the lip of the bezel and the lip of the case back. And the interesting thing about this watch is that it uses a standard 22 millimeter strap. And although it has a quick release system, JLC was smart, realizing that all of these systems that allow you to swap straps, they're great, but they lock you into a factory strap. The Cartier Roadster, the IWC Aquatimers, the Hublot Big Bang Unicos. It's great to be able to swap, but if the only thing you can use is a factory strap, you're going to limit your options. Here, JLC is smart. The strap itself is utterly conventional with a 22 millimeter spring bar inside it, and then the mechanism, it's located in the case, and all it does is it opens to admit the strap or release the strap. And so it's very easy to just customize this watch with a strap from a third party. Let me do this off camera because it's a little bit easier to do when you are off camera. When I had mine, I thought this was the best feature ever. Super easy to use, very comfortable. And again, in a snap, I was able to get this on and get this off. So if you don't like to risk your talents with screwdrivers against the lugs, you know, you're going to disfigure it, you're going to damage it, you're going to let the spring bar scratch it. Here, problem solved. Any 22 millimeter strap will fit here. Why do we have two cases, an inner case in titanium and an outer case in rose gold? Well, the reason is the inner case is actually suspended on springs. And when this watch was launched, the basic version of it, not this limited edition, back in 2005, they bragged that the Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph could be used on the hammer game at a carnival where you hit a target and try to raise a weight until it hits a bell. They said you can play golf, engage in batting, firearms use, tennis while wearing this watch. And people who were at the launch tested the watch through all of those trials, and it came out with flying colors. So we have this purposefully large watch where the inner case is sprung, and thus we need to have a little bit more volume to contain something that is not just aesthetic, but also quite functional. The compressor crowns. An interesting idea that JLC launched in the 2000s, and in hindsight, quite interesting. So we have a 100-meter water-resistant watch, but the idea here is a lot like with the Panerai crown lock system. We're not going to thread a stem tube endlessly through the stem tube assembly and through the seals, which can wear out the stem tube assembly and also the seals. Instead, we're just going to compress and decompress, and whereas Panerai used a lever and a cam, JLC here uses a system that turns. So it's color-coded. White, you're tight, and then you could see black on the opposite side. But now I can wind the watch, I can set the watch. Notice that I've got hacking seconds. I've also got a quick set date. So I can rapidly cycle the date if I wish to do so. And all it takes is to screw the crown, one more half turn around. And so this just compresses and decompresses the seal. We're not threading through constantly. For the chronograph, it's even easier. It's a 1/4 turn, and then I can operate the chronograph. These are polymer coated. You can see the JL logo on the primary crown. Very easy to operate, a distinctive system, a little bit quirky, but very functional. You can see that we've got a world time system, and that one half the dial is actually under a piece of sapphire glass, and then the other half the dial is not. Actually, if you look quite carefully, you can see which side is under the sapphire glass. So we have a shaded circle, and then the two semicircles. Here are nighttime hours, roughly speaking, and here are daytime hours. It's a Louis Coutier style world time system, and because Gassan Diamonds is located in the Netherlands here, Paris is replaced by Amsterdam on the world time scale. We can change our reference time. The reference city is the one that's down at the bottom, and so you can turn that in either direction. If you forget which city is the reference city, it's the one that's right side up. Now the way this works, we'll pull out the crown, we'll operate this again. As the time advances, you could see that this 24-hour reference ring moves counterclockwise. So I just rolled through midnight in Amsterdam, because the center time and the time indicated down at the bottom, those are going to be the same. So now let's say 5 a.m. in the morning, and you can see we're approaching the edge of this shade, so we're approaching dawn. It is 5 a.m. in Amsterdam. It is 5 p.m. in Samoa. And you know that because it's 17 here and it's 5 here. And it's easy to tell. What time is it in Caracas? By the way, that's changed a few times since, but it's going to be midnight in Caracas. What time is it in Dhaka? It's going to be 10 in the morning. And so you just read the 24 principal time zones against the 24 references. Taking a quick look, you can see that the hands are gold, and there's plenty of lume. We'll lume this watch now. So you can see it is actually quite easy to read in the dark. And back before the Tribute to Polaris series, JLC was incorporating some elements of the Polaris 68 to the dial of their sports watches in the Compressor and Compressor Extreme series. So that's where that design comes from. You can also see the engine turning on the dial base. We have instantaneous jumping, minutes, and then you can see an hours scroll right here. We've got this engine-turned dial, which is metal. It's not Texalium. Texalium came out on JLC Master Compressor Extreme World Timers on the mid-cycle redesign of the watch in 2010, and it's a very fine weave, whereas this you could see is quite obviously an engine-turned perlage, and Texalium is aluminized fiberglass, which is Very different from this solid metal dial base. We'll operate the chronograph again. Chronograph's caliper 752. It's a JLC manufacturer movement, unidirectional winding with ceramic bearings for high winding efficiency, 2 barrels, 65-hour power reserve, 41 joules, 4 hertz beat rate. You can turn it all over, see the dedication, the limited edition on the back, as well as the notation that this is a gold and titanium watch. 100 meters water resistant, JLC's maker's mark on the case. You can see the triggers that release the straps, and then underneath we have the spring mechanism that suspends the inner case. Column wheel with vertical clutch, so the feel of the chronograph is excellent. And then vertical clutch, so there's no extraneous movement, jump, or stagger to the seconds hand when you start the chrono. And if you like, you can leave the chrono running full-time with no additional wear and tear to the mechanism because, again, it is a vertical clutch system. You can see a dished dial with incredible depth. And this movement here was JLC's first in-house automatic chronograph when it debuted in 2005. So 65-hour reserve, twin barrels for greater rate stability, and a free sprung for precision of adjustment via the free sprung balance, but also greater shock resistance. Since concussion can't move a mobile index, there is no mobile index. A very, very cool watch on a lot of levels, and in some ways, the thinking man's alternative to something like an Hublot Big Bang, a Royal Oak Offshore, or frankly, even a Richard Mille. Because if you had an RM this fine and this complicated with a proprietary movement and all these shock-resistant features, the quick release, the water resistance, oh my gosh, it would cost $800 to $1.5 million, be it $800,000 to $1.5 million if RM made something like this entirely under its own roof. So a great value if you have the wrist for it. This is a full set watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.